The very white prologue sets the tone for the film, dripping in tension, mystery, and psychological dread. We begin in wintry Oregon in the early 1970s, where a young girl, Lee, steps outside her quiet home and notices a parked car nearby. As she approaches, she hears a voice behind her. It's an unrecognizable Nicolas Cage, ghostly pale, stringy-haired, his presence radiating discomfort. He utters a single unsettling phrase, "Almost birthday, girl," adding how he's wearing his long legs today, hinting at a dark connection that will haunt Lee for decades. Fast forward 20 years to the 1990s, and Lee is now an FBI agent, portrayed by Maika Monroe. She's partnered with Agent Fisk, and they're on a case investigating a series of violent murders. The crime they're investigating involves fathers who have brutally killed their families before taking their own lives. There are letters found at each crime scene, filled with satanic symbols and signed by someone calling themselves, well, Longlegs. Lee's sharp instincts quickly come into play when she and Fisk go to a neighborhood to look for a suspect. On her first hunch, Lee points out a house, and as they approach, the situation turns deadly. Fisk is shot, and Lee is forced to enter the house. Inside, she finds the perpetrator surrendering without resistance. Lee's unique ability to sense danger and make intuitive connections doesn't go unnoticed by her boss, Agent Carter, played by Blair Underwood. Carter suspects Lee might possess some sort of psychic power. He assigns her to the decades-long murder case, and she begins to uncover disturbing connections between the murders. All of the killings took place within 6 days of each daughter's birthday in each family. The dates of the murders align on a calendar in a triangular pattern, with one final date left blank, suggesting that Longlegs will strike again on that day. Late one night, Lee is disturbed by the sound of someone pounding on her door. When she looks outside, she sees a figure standing in the woods. After stepping outside to investigate, Lee returns to her house to find the figure has vanished, leaving behind an envelope addressed to her, reminding her of the looming date, January 14th, her own birthday. As the investigation intensifies, Lee and Carter turn their attention to the Camera family. The only survivor of the family's encounter with Longlegs is the daughter, Carrie Ann. Carrie Ann had been at school during the murders, and Lee and Carter visit the family's farm. In the barn, they discover a lifelike doll resembling a young Carrie Ann, with a strange metal ball inside it that serves as the brain of the doll. When they examine the doll, strange static noises fill the air, and Lee experiences disturbing visions. Lee then visits Carrie Ann at the psychiatric ward, where she has been staying since the murders. The staff at the facility reveal that Carrie Ann had been catatonic for almost 2 decades, but recently a man, Longlegs, visited her and snapped her out of her state. When Lee speaks with Carrie Ann, she recounts the murders in an eerie monotone, describing how her father killed a priest and then her mother. She also reveals that she would do anything Longlegs asked her to do, even if it meant killing Lee. Lee's personal life is strained, especially her relationship with her mother, Ruth, played by Alicia Witt. Lee attempts to reach out to Ruth but finds little comfort. Carter brings up the fact that Lee might have encountered Longlegs as a child because her mother had reported to the police about a tall, pale trespasser when she was a kid. As Lee confronts her mother, she begins to understand that Ruth may have had a larger role in the story than she originally thought. Ruth is not just a devoutly religious woman, but an accomplice in the murders. Under the guise of a church nun, she has been helping Longlegs by delivering the lifelike dolls handmade by him to the families he targeted. The dark magic dolls go on to manipulate the fathers into committing the murders. Ruth justifies her actions as a desperate attempt to save Lee's soul, the deal she struck with the devil. The film's final act brings the tension to a fever pitch. Ruth, fully indoctrinated in Longlegs' twisted plan, attempts to complete her final task. She has a new target, Ruby, the young daughter of Agent Carter. In a harrowing scene, Lee rushes to Carter's home, desperately trying to stop her mother from finishing what she started, and Ruth is finally brought down by her own daughter in a moment that's equal parts heartbreaking and cathartic. But is Longlegs also done away with? He was in FBI custody and smashed his own face against the table to a bloody death. But at the end of the film, he is seen again at that same table, cackling away in his own inimitable way and mumbling, "Hail Satan," hinting that his influence or the evil behind him may not be over, ever. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you can watch more videos like this. Also, tell us which film you want us to feature next. Thanks for watching.